Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Now, there's been a couple changes, and I'm just bringing you guys up to speed to what's going on. So, to start it off, I realized, as I had discussed with Alex, just how this podcast was going to go and the movies we were going to watch, the list that we had already scheduled, and everything like that. As we discuss more of the paranormal and just the activities that came onto this, I realized that it probably was not fair for someone who actually is very frightened of these type of topics to actually watch these shows. So I decided that I would just continue on without her, and I know I have her full support in me being able to do this and give you guys good entertainment upon this. So there's going to be a couple changes. Of course, it's just going to be me on the podcast, and the scheduling has been changed. So I'm going to be working on figuring out how that's going to work out this week. But I wanted all of you guys to know that I didn't forget about you, and I thank you all for listening to the last episodes that we've had. And just know that it is very exciting to be able to continue on doing this. I keep repeating this, and I'll repeat it a lot. I love horror films. I enjoy looking at the aspects that they bring and being able to discuss to see if there was any scare factor onto there. Like, was it really scary? Was it more gruesome rather than scary? Right? And look at those type of topics that comes into it. So, without further ado, I did find a new song that goes perfectly to what this podcast really portrays. So I hope you guys really like it. Right, perfect. And I hope that's a lot more creepier than it was prior to that, just because I want it to be exactly that. I want you guys to feel the creepiness that comes into this. But I also want you guys to enjoy exactly what it is that we're going to be discussing. So, this episode is going to be more of what's been going on, right? Why did I take such a huge sabbatical, and what's going to be the next steps on all this? Well, as I discussed in the beginning in the intro, we, as Alex and I, had been discussing according to the schedule that I had set up and what we were going to be doing and how we were going to watch these shows. Two things came up when we were discussing this, and one was that it was difficult for us to actually watch these shows due to the fact that when I had them scheduled for us to watch, which was normally like a Saturday night, uh, our kids, it was the weekend, so our kids would stay up and would want to look at what we were watching. And of course, when we talk about horror films, like, I have seen a lot of zombie movies with my kids, but the ones that we were going to get into, I just did not want them to accidentally see. And so when we would try to postpone it to be a little bit later, to watch it a little bit later, we got a little bit more tired, right? It's later in the night, it's time to sleep. So it ended up just not working as well as what we had planned. And then, as we further discussed, just the paranormal side of what horror films do bring out and do discuss, I realized that there are people who are more sensitive to these topics, to these type of things, and it would be very insensitive of me to have Alex, who is one of those that is sensitive to these things, come up and watch these shows and have to kind of go through it, right? It just doesn't make any sense, and it's not right. And so, due to being a loving husband on that, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do this on my own. Well, life got on, and trying to do that and making those changes kind of brought things up. And I just was not able to view any horror films at the time being. I had to do all this other stuff. Work kind of got in the way. All the excuses you can think of for stopping, right? So a lot of space went through, and I finally was able to kind of organize my time and get everything set and scheduled away. And I finally got my system ready for me to be able to do these podcasts periodically and weekly as I had promised to. So look forward. This is a very short episode or short take. It's more of a of what's going to be happening. So now that we're in summer, I am going to be looking at the perfect summer horror films that we can look at, discuss, and enjoy. So look forward to a post on my blog. So if you go to just geosthoughts.com, I will be posting the updated schedule there, and then we'll start going from there. I am going to at least let you know that I am kicking it off with Fear Street Part 1 for week 1, then Part 2 for week 2, Part 3 to end it, week 3. So we're going to dive deep, discuss what we liked about it. We're going to discuss the fear factor, bring out any points that could have been actually discussed on it, and just enjoy what these movies bring, which is getting our adrenaline up and kicking in and having us wonder, like, could it be real? Could this really happen? And things like that. So I thank you so much for all the followers who have been listening. I know it's not a lot, but I thank you all, and I hope to see you guys next time.